Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, February 14, 2025. Happy Valentines to you all. So this episode is obviously about Valentine's Day and the different plans going on with the different cast members, right? So we start off with Kayla and Steve. So today is not only Valentine's Day for them, but also their wedding anniversary. So Kayla's coming out. She's thinking that, things are set up, or she's going to get a greeting from Steve about, the special days. And nothing is going on. Steve is just acting casual. Of course, I already think he has something up his sleeve, but he doesn't want Kayla to know yet. So Kayla's surprised that, he didn't greet her in any special kind of way. So he just leaves and she's like, I would think he would put it in his calendar or something, right? So she's a little bit perturbed that, he didn't even tell her happy Valentine's Day or happy anniversary or nothing. So she said she has plans up her sleeve for him. She didn't even let him know. But yeah, so moving forward, Stephanie comes in, right? So she doesn't even say anything to her mom either, and she said she has some press release stuff for, the hospital, because as we know earlier that, the hospital is going under bankruptcy, and, she was trying her best to use her PR skills to, help, bring awareness to that. So she's just hopeful that, it will turn all around and the hospital will be back in order. So Kayla has no doubt about that, but she's just surprised that Stephanie didn't even mention nothing to her about her wedding anniversary, happy Valentine's Day, nothing at all. So she asked her if she have any plans today. So Stephanie says she just has work at this point. So Steve comes out and Kayla just says she's gonna go to work, right? So Steve said, wait, before you go. So she thinks he's gonna tell her now, right? So he just mentions that, I know that you're going through a lot with the hospital filing for, bankruptcy. And just, keep your head up. I know that things are going to turn around. So she said thanks and she leaves. And of course, she's upset because, they didn't remember nothing about today, right? So while she went to work, Steven and Stephanie, they're in there laughing about how she doesn't know what they're up to, and she thinks that they forgot the special day, and they're just saying, Steve is saying, she's stubborn because she could have mentioned, today to me too, but she wanted me to do it first. So I'm saying, yeah, he has a point. Like, she could have done it too. I mean, it goes both ways. So anyways, they're setting up, the place real nice. They had the balloons, the flowers, the pictures of back in the day with them and the wedding, because they've been together forever. So Stephanie said, have you always been this romantic? So I said, no, I definitely learned over the years, because my first Valentine's Day gift to her was, they showed this montage with them back in the day when they were younger, and, he gave her these, these funny looking clattering teeth, they move a lot. So it was definitely funny, but it's cute because she liked it. And she gave him, I guess, a card or something like that. So it was nice, the little throwback they put in there. So Steve asked Stephanie if she have any plans. So she said, yes, she actually does. Alex invited her out, and, he's happy to hear that. He's surprised, but he's happy to hear that. And he did tell her one time that she would definitely find love because she was going through that thing with Philip. And she said, yeah, you were right about that. And he said, yeah, you should take my advice. So she said, yeah, you give good advice here and then. So she, they hide, and then, Kayla comes in. Of course, Kayla is definitely surprised with what's going on. She thought they forgot. And Steve just hands her these bouquet of beautiful yellow flowers, and he's telling her, happy wedding anniversary as well. I never forgot. So Stephanie leaves them because this is her cue. So she's gone to, to her plans and everything. So she leaves, and, it gives them time to talk and, enjoy what's happening. So it was really a cute moment. So as mentioned before, Tate and Holly has their plans to, meet at the cabin, really have their own intimate time, their first intimate night together, so they're planning it out. Well, Tate is planning it out for it to be really special, right? Because it's their first time. So he comes over with roses, chocolate, trying to be romantic, and, she's enjoying that, and he's just, giving her a lot of compliments here and there, and they're just happy to really, go to the cabin because, he really believes that Holly deserves this, after everything that he put her through. He really wants her to have this, special night, and he wants to do it all up, even try to make a nice meal, even though he can't really cook, but he's trying to make it really romantic for the both of them. So anyways, he leaves, and then she gets to, talking with Maggie. So they get to talking about the plans that Tate and her have tonight. And, Maggie is saying that, yeah, he was really nervous, when he was asking me for the key to the cabin. So, so Holly says that, it's going to be a special night tonight. So Maggie said, how special? So she said, yeah, we're gonna have our first, intimate time together. Because Maggie did just, flat out ask her, are you guys gonna sleep together tonight? So she, I liked how the environment was, because if we know back in the day, parents and grandparents, they didn't really give you that environment to be open about intimacy, sex, and all of that, right? It was really a taboo thing. Kids were not really comfortable or confident enough to talk to their parents about that. And it's actually normal, it's natural to feel that way. And Maggie was saying she was like that as a teenager. Sarah was like that. I mean, we all were at one point as teenagers. We have those feelings and those urges. I think the narrative has to change, that we as the new parents coming in, we have to make it an environment that is comfortable for the kids to really talk about those things, not make it be such a strange and taboo topic, but let it be an open topic. Because at the end of the day, if we deny them that, they're going to go out there, rebel, they're going to be misinformed in the public. They're not going to know how to deal with healthy sexual conversations or relationships, right? And they're going to do it regardless if we say no. They're going to find a way to do it. So it might as well we just educate them, inform them the right way of protection and all of that, right? So it was a good scene between Maggie and Holly talking about that, because a lot of teenagers need to see that kind of thing play out on the media, right? So anyways, Maggie says that she just wants her to be happy and just to be careful, which we all as parents, grandparents want, right? So also another double celebration was happening over the Demera household. So Chanel and Johnny, they're celebrating Valentine's Day and also their wedding anniversary as Steve and Kayla. So Johnny, brings breakfast in bed, and they're there enjoying it, and they're just looking real good together, which I really like to see, right? So they start talking about this plan to really expand their family, and Chanel says, about that, I know I was the one who initiated that conversation, but I'm definitely concerned about going through another molar pregnancy, because that's what happened before. And even though Kayla said that we can try again after 6 months, I'm still kind of scared about it. I don't really want to go through it. And Johnny understands it, so Johnny calls Kayla to set up an appointment, right? Sophia and her mom were having, I guess a smoothie in the square, and it's Valentine's Day. So Mrs. Troy gives Sophia this gift, and she's like, I never had a Valentine's Day gift since I was 10. So what's this about? So she noticed that it's a blanket that she made. She said it's for the baby. So of course Sophia got a little bit uncomfortable, because she knows how her mom feels, and she said that we still feel strongly about putting up the baby for adoption, and we tried to find a suitable couple, but they backed out the other day. So they're still trying to find a suitable couple that her mom can approve of. So her mom is still saying that they really need to be the parents that the child deserves at the end of the day. The child deserves to grow up with loving biological parents, but Sophia is just adamant that she and Tate are not ready, and the baby deserves a stable household. So while that's happening, Tate comes over, and Tate is walking by, and Sophia said, Tate, I need your backup on this. So Tate is like, what's going on? So she tells him, and while she's explaining, she starts having I guess cramps or contractions, and then she relaxes for a bit. So she tries to explain to her mom yet again, but then it gets really excruciating. So her mom said, let's go to the hospital, right? So Johnny and Chanel are at the hospital. They're thankful for Kayla squeezing them in, and Kayla said, "No worries, because a lot of my patients are leaving because of the whole news about the hospital being bankrupt. But how I love it here. So I'm here to help you guys." So they asked if it's okay to start back after 6 months pass, and Kayla said, I have your blood work here, and I really do believe that it's not the right time to be planning a pregnancy and all that, right? So they're asking what's happening. So she said that there is still, I guess, some tumor that is left over from the scar tissue of the last molar pregnancy, right? So Chanel says, is it cancer? So Kayla says she doesn't believe so. It's probably low risk. So she's just saying that it's not the right time. It's probably to just wait a little longer. So, of course, that's not what they want to hear. They're devastated because they really want to try to expand their family at this time. They're ready to do that, right? But it's not really safe to do so. So they're outside, and, Chanel is filling out paperwork. Of course, Chanel is disappointed, and Johnny's just trying to be reassuring. And at the end of the day, he just wants her to be healthy, and that's the biggest priority, right? So we go to Julie and Doug, right? So Julie was there earlier just thinking about her husband on the day, and it must be definitely difficult for her. And they had this throwback montage with her and Doug back in the day, and they had a nice Valentine's Day celebration. So while she was, reminiscing about that, Doug Jr. comes in. He has a lovely bouquet of flowers for her, and she definitely appreciates the gesture. And she told him about how red roses were his grandpa's favorite flowers. They get to talking about back in the day with her and Doug, and how Doug wrote a song for her, and he put it in his book of poems. She also talked about some restaurant, I think butter noodles, something like that. I couldn't remember the memory distinctly, but I could remember how she was trying to find the poem book in the house. She couldn't find it, so Doug offers to go to the cabin because she thinks she left it there. So she said that, it was when she was there, holed up with Johnny and Chanel, and the time when Chanel got lost, and the snow was caving them in, and Paulina came, with the snow plow, and she was radioactive at the time. So, of course, Doug was all surprised about everything, and he's like, "You led quite the life, Julie." And she did, before he went off, she did ask him if he had any plans himself, any girls or guys. So he said, "I'm strictly, interested in girls, but I haven't found someone. The one that I'm interested in is committed to somebody else. She has a boyfriend." So Julie understands and respects that she's committed to her relationship, but she did tell Doug to be honest with the girl. And also, when she was involved with his granddad, she was married to somebody else, but it was a marriage of convenience. It wasn't based off love. So, that's how they really ended up. So Doug is off, and Maggie comes over to visit Julie. She's definitely surprised, and she asks her about the flowers, and she said Doug gave them to me, and he's actually on his way to the Horton cabin to retrieve something that Doug gave for me back in the day. So Maggie said, wow, well, he's definitely in for a surprise, right? Because remember, Holly is going up there to set up early, to wait for Tate. So, of course, she's not going to expect Doug to be there. And Doug comes in. At this time, Holly is already dressed up in some lingerie for Tate. So, let's see how this goes up. But listen, I am here for this interaction. At that time, Tate, Sophia, and Mrs. Troy is at the hospital. He did message Holly and said that he's going to be late yet again. Every time there's always an interruption, whether intentional or unintentional, it's always coming in between, him and Holly's thing. At this point, Holly needs to just call it quits. But anyways, it's just my 2 cents. Sophia is examined by Kayla earlier, and Kayla says that it's normal contractions and all that, and she should be okay. So she goes for a pamphlet for her to read, right? So at this time, Tate and Sophia, they were concerned. They're just thankful that nothing is harming the baby. So Mrs. Troy is taking them back by it and said that you guys care so much about the baby, why you want to put it up for adoption? So put him or her up for adoption. So they said that's why we care. We really want the baby to grow up in a stable household. So her mom really came about and said, fine, I understand now, and Sophia is happy about that her mom is coming around to them putting the baby up for adoption, because she knows, deep down she cares about Sophia's feelings about it, and she really wants the baby to grow up in a happy, stable household. And sometimes that's what's have to happen, and she understands that they really care about the baby. So Tate goes out, right, and he sees Johnny Chanel. They're distraught, and they're asking, Johnny's asking what Tate is doing here. So Tate tells them that Sophia was having some contractions, so they have to check it out, but she's okay. And also that her mom is okay with the baby being put up for adoption. They just need to find a suitable couple that she can approve of, right? So Johnny and Chanel are looking at each other and they're saying, like, I think you found the couple. So I saw somebody comment, I don't know if it's on my video or on another video, soap opera video, and they said that Johnny Chanel would probably be the couple to adopt, Sophia and Tate's baby. I'm really wanting for Chanel and Johnny to have a baby, of their own, but if it is that way they end up having a baby, I'm all for it. I'd like to see them as parents. They're stable enough and they just got back on track with their marriage. I think it's perfect timing, impeccable timing actually. So let's see how this all works out. Let's see how the transition goes with Sophia handing over a baby to Johnny Chanel, because that can always be bittersweet, because it is your child and you're not going to see them really regularly. So yeah. But that is it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next week. Have an enjoyable Valentine's Day weekend.